Many of us are familiar with prenuptial agreements, but have you heard of postmarital agreements? Before you walk down the aisle, it's important to understand the difference between a pre- and postmarital agreement and why it's important to protect your assets when divorce or death do us part becomes an inevitable reality. So Paige is live inside the Bailey Galyen Legal Café in Fort Worth with more. Hello, Paige.
Hi, good morning to you. Good morning, Texas, and sweetheart. You look fantastic, but you also do provide us with a true reminder that inevitably death will part even the closest of marriages. So it's important to understand premarital and postmarital agreements and how and why they're so important in any marriage. I'm excited to introduce you to Keith Spencer.
Good morning.
You are, I'm going to brag on you a little bit.
Okay.
Board certified family law attorney for 38 years, for right here, Bailey Galyen. It's so nice to see you.
Well, nice to meet you.
Well, before we get down to the business and to the beef of all of this, let's really talk about something exciting that's going to be happening, and it's going to be happening right here, right outside these windows. I want to mention we're in downtown Fort Worth, literally on Main Street, and you've got a big party that's on its way.
We do. We're the Legal Cafe, and it's kind of a new concept for folks to come in, have a cup of coffee, talk to an attorney. They don't have to go to the big ivory tower downtown. We can have a cup of coffee and chat about the problems and questions that you have. But this Thursday, we're having a big party. It's a grand opening for us. And we're going to have games and trick-or-treats for the kids. And the ranch radio station's going to be out here, and a bunch of the Texas Rangers and their mascot. And we're going to be giving away prizes and just trying to introduce Fort Worth to this new concept of a legal cafe. And it's sponsored by Bailey Galyen and the Texas Rangers. And so we're really excited about it. It's Thursday from 4 to 8. Ought to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of activities outside.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully it's going to be a beautiful weekend. And that's a wonderful thing about the Legal Cafe and what you guys do. You offer free legal advice for people to come in. They can have a cup of coffee, sit down with an attorney, be able to ask some basic legal questions, and really know the direction, even if it doesn't require an attorney at all.
Absolutely, and Google is great for a lot of things, but you don't want to get your medical advice or your legal advice from there.
No.
Okay?
No,
and so
not from Google.
For nothing, for a cup of coffee, you can sit down and chat with me or another attorney and kind of get some of your questions answered. And like I was telling you before, a lot of the folks that come see me really don't need a lawyer. They just need some questions answered.
All right, let's talk about this, the whole idea of a premarital agreement. What is that?
Well, a premarital agreement is a fallback position, if you will. If you are contemplating getting married and you would like to have control over your own estate rather than some judge having control over it later,
right?
Texas law and most other states allows you to write up a contract that says, here's how we're going to handle all of this in the event of the end of the marriage by death or divorce. Today, a lot of folks are marrying a little bit later in life, and people have acquired quite a bit more significant property estates.
Yeah, and are they becoming more common than these premarital agreements?
Yes, they are, and I think part of that is because people are waiting a little bit later to get married, and they've acquired a lot of retirement benefits and worked on their career, and a lot of them own real estate. And so it's a really good way to protect yourself from the vagaries of the law.
All right.
Most of the folks who are coming in realize they are more sophisticated at dealing with their estate than the judge will be, because the judge doesn't know their estate.
And we don't want these properties to end up in the hands of Uncle Sam, too. So that's also a protective aspect. Can you have these kinds of agreements? Can you have postmarital agreements? And what does that look like?
Well, people can divide their estate anytime they want to, and so we have partitioning agreements and postmarital agreements. And there's a lot of things that develop in life. You start a business or whatever, that maybe you need to make some adjustments for business reasons.
Well, and I think that many people, when you hear the word prenuptial, That's why I like how the term you're referring to now as premarital. You get a little hesitant about it.
Oh, it sounds so unromantic.
Doesn't it?
We're going to have a contract.
Yes, will you marry me? And by the way, sign this.
Sign here.
Yes.
But it is not unromantic, okay? It's kind of like having a will. If you have a will, you have done your heirs a huge favor because they're distraught, they're upset, they're trying to figure out what you wanted, and they may not make the same kind of business decisions that you would make. And so a prenuptial agreement can really, really be a big help because community property laws are kind of funny.
Right, and also a postmarital agreement. You don't have
Absolutely.
to sign this. This is something that can happen even if you've been in the marriage for 10, 20 years. All right,
Yes.
so before we end, let's talk one more time about this big party that's going to be happening right here in downtown Fort Worth.
It's going to be great. As I said, we're going to have a lot of activities for the kids. There's obstacle courses, there's Texas Rangers, and the mascot captain's going to
Yes.
be here, and a lot of trick-or-treating and giveaways and things like that. It's a new concept that we're trying to introduce here in Fort Worth, that you don't have to go to the ivory tower law firm and feel all intimidated. You can come on in, have a cup of coffee. We have a lot of lawyers come in and hang out between cases, and we have conference rooms for people to work and mediate and things like that. So
Fantastic.
we're real excited about introducing this to Fort Worth.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. You don't
Thank
want to
you.
miss it. There's going to be so much fun that's going to be happening. So you want to take advantage of that and get the family out, get the kids out,
There you go.
and enjoy the sunshine here in downtown Fort Worth. All right. Thank you again.
Thank
And
you.
The information is on your screen.